What's up, peoples? Welcome back to Let's Play Deus Ex 3! So, we've infiltrated the lower levels of the FEMA camp and discovered that it is now, as we just spoiled, under control of FEMA. So, without that out of the way, I can now stop referring to it as that random place in Highland Park, and now as the FEMA camp, which is what it will be referred to as the rest of the game. Anyway, I definitely want to go stealthy through this area because there's a giant friggin' robot over there that can only be killed with the EMP grenade, and I really don't want to waste the EMP grenade. So, and I also don't want to go through those guys because this is one of those places where we can set off alarms, and I really want to do my best to avoid setting off any alarms for the sake of those of you who are trying to get the, what is it, the Foxes to the Hounds. Ooh, forgot to make something real quick. Right over here is a secret weapon, which is, you guessed it, a rocket launcher. Now, if you're doing a combat run, then you might have more inventory space in this, or at least I recommend you do it. Maybe you stashed a couple more weapons at the apartment, and you'd be able to hold this thing. And I do recommend doing that, just so you can have it with you for the upcoming boss fight. And I'll go ahead and spoil this boss fight coming up, just so you can prepare for it. Because trust me, not being prepared for it is probably the worst thing you can do in this game. But like I said, I want to try to stealth my way through this area, going through some of these under the floor vent type things to get past these guards, and I definitely don't want to set off an alarm here because then they'll pretty much screw me over for the rest of the level, although there's not really that much of the level left. Oh crap, he saw me. Okay. He didn't set off an alarm yet though, but also the robot, there are some smaller security robots that I haven't really gotten to demonstrate yet, purely because I haven't been setting off that many alarms into these areas. But later in the game, as we go through more of these actual levels, instead of wasting so much time on the city hub, then you'll get to see them. But if you avoid setting off alarms, you avoid setting off the robots, essentially. But I'll talk more about that when it's more relevant. Also, we can disable them by hacking the security hubs. These guys, however, have completely independent power sources and are not dependent on the security hub to mobilize them and set them on their patrol routines. They have an AI and they're pretty much self-determining. So, in short, they're scary as hell. Anyway, I want to wait for that guy to look away so I can sneak in here. There's some ammo over there, but I don't want to risk it. I just want to get past these guys without setting off an alarm. I want to go over to this side area here. You saw where I was looking on the map for these guys, so for this area. So this is just the area I like to go through. Like I said, like all levels, there is about a billion different paths you can take through. So there's no right or wrong way of doing this. It's just this is the way I prefer to do it at the time. It may not even be the way I prefer to do it in general. It's just what I felt like doing at the time. So, but up here, there is a very specific reason why I wanted to go this way, though, is because I want to be able to. It's not the most direct way to the downstairs area that we need to, the next level below that we need to be heading to next. But there is some stuff up here I wanted to get. Mainly, where am I going? It's over here. There's a security hub over here, and if you got the login from earlier, then you'll know what the login is for all of these. And I believe the password is Neural Hub. For all of these. I think this is the level where it's Neural Hub. But I'm just going to go ahead and hack this one so I can get some of the XP rewards and show off another level 3 hack. This is another reason why it's good to have level 3 hacking at this point, but like I said, if I bothered to look at my data that I received, I probably would be able to actually show you guys that the access code is Neural Hub as one word. But the reason why I want to hack into this is because there is a weapon stash room here that the door is connected to it, and I can open the door like so, and I can disable the camera that is in the room, so when I go in there, it won't set off an alarm, as it would. And what is in here, you might ask? Well, nothing really all that special. There's just regular shotgun and some Typhoon ammo and some more rockets. That's the main thing you want to come in here and get, is more rockets if you decide to pick up the rocket launcher, so you can have more shots to use against the boss. And if you decide to invest in the Typhoon, then more ammo for that is also going to help against the boss. Anyway, over here are ammo for our 2 non-lethal weapons if we didn't... so it's like ammo for the pacifist run over here and ammo for the combat run back there. So I like how the game does that. It's sort of, whenever it gives you ammo, it gives you, in slightly different areas, slightly different ammo depending on what kind of run you're doing. But there's a sniper over here. Nice thing about these sniper guys is they don't have helmets, like I said before. But these mercenary guys, you can pretty much one-shot with the pistol in the head anyway. So We don't really need to worry about their armor yet, at least. Not at this point in the game. And they're still vulnerable to the Tranquil Rifle as well. But this guy's, I really want to be careful with this guy because crap. Right when I said I was going to be careful, I was waiting for his cycle to progress so he could walk so he could keep walking and not see me. But usually I try to gun him down quite a few times, which is pretty easy to do because he's usually not looking in that direction. He also has a sniper rifle if you want it. And obviously I'm going to take his sniper ammo because I want to stock up on that real nice. And but I want the path over here is just after either avoiding him or killing him. I want to go over here, and usually I can avoid those guys. But now that we're on this stairwell, we really don't have to worry about any of those guys that I alerted over there. So the fact that I alerted them is completely irrelevant. And they won't get a chance to set off an alarm because I'm moving on to the next part of the level. And this part right here, obviously, there's a security camera there we don't want to get detected by. And another security hub in here, which I don't think really has anything worth... Ooh, there we go, just smash the boxes. You can do that, by the way, as I've just demonstrated, obviously. Pardon me for being condescending. Anyway, I have an upgrade I want to go ahead and use. I guess I should use it on the revolver now that I have it. And pick up this other upgrade for reload speed. I guess that will also be good for the revolver because being a revolver, it of course takes forever to reload. So let's go ahead and hack this security hub as well. I don't think there's really all that much of consequence that we can get from hacking this one, though. All that much we can really access right now. I don't know why I have to hack that level 5 spam. There we go. Should have hacked that bonus thing first. I had enough time. Wow, one security camera. It's one like right out in the hall there, I think. Yeah, that was not really worth it. Oh well, at least I demonstrated it. There's a hypostim in here, and I think I mentioned earlier what the hypostim does, and that's definitely something you want to pick up while you're here because that'll also help you quite a bit during the boss. I actually don't want to go down the elevator just yet. I want to say that the secret thing I want to get in here is on this. Yeah, it's on this floor. That would have been a big mistake had I gone down there just yet. There's definitely some things I want to do. There's a secret locker room in here that has some things in it. Not too many substantial things, but some ammo. Mainly some sniper ammo. That's going to be helpful. Some more painkillers also going to be useful. As Max Payne will tell you, you can never have too many of those. And we'll just open them all at once in a big montage. Not really all that much in here. It's kind of a letdown. Anyway, enough screwing around with that. There might be some other items over here you can loot. Over here is a Cyber Boost Pro Energy Jar, which is... It takes up 4 units of inventory space, and it can restore 3 energy bars. So that's pretty nice, but it's just impractical to hold on to right now, especially for this kind of run. For the pacifist run, I definitely recommend it so you can have more restoration on your cloaking. Anyway, these two guys in here are questioning who we are and why we're here. And I'm going to, you can use one or two things you can do. You can try to just talk them into letting you into the this area, or you can just choose to knock them out and fight them. But I think if you walk into the room with your gun drawn, they'll automatically be alerted and try to attack you. But
just make sure you clean up your mess back
since this is not the case, we can get this dialogue. And so right now they're pretty much cool with us. We've pretty much just intimidated them into submission, which allows us to go over to this area, which there's not really a whole lot over here. So I'm not really going to bother with this area. I mean, there might be some good stuff you can loot over here, but I really don't care. Because really the only reason why I'm over here, because there's a Hugh Darrow ebook in this area, and that's the only thing I really want to get over here. So if there's anything else beyond that, it's really kind of irrelevant, because that's the only thing that I can't miss for the sake of this run. So let's go ahead and break into this room over here, and that's where it's located. It might be a code that I already have to get in here. I'm not sure. I really don't even want to bother to check. Apparently, since I'm hacking this, though, the guys that I was just talking to are becoming alerted, so the whole ruse of talking our way into that room is pretty much wasted now that they're just gonna start attacking us anyway.
Access granted.
Oh, Jesus! We get in that room. Well, I suppose I better take them out now. I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and use the pistol, just because it's silenced. I mean, they have a... this is okay with me, because I could definitely use more pistol ammo and more magnum ammo, so... I really don't care that I have to kill them. It's kind of worthwhile anyway, so... I got to show both versions of that outcome, though, so... Fighting them and not fighting them, so that's kind of nice. Here's the Hugh Darrow ebook right here, and that is all the Hugh Darrow ebooks in the FEMA camp, so... We really don't need to worry about that. It's kind of odd that there's so few of them in this level, but that's kind of nice that we don't have to worry about missing some we can never go back to, because, like I said, we can't go back to this level. Let's go ahead and loot these guys and go back to that elevator. Well, it's just a bathroom, I guess. So that's a little bit more screwing around than I wanted to do. Like I said, you could get through this level really fast if it wasn't for all the exploration that I was doing there. And most of that, like I said, is just to get that Hugh Darrow ebook. So a lot of those areas are pretty much pointless. Like the whole thing with those two security guards there, I didn't even bother with that my first time through the game. I just went straight for the elevator. And now that we're down here, we can't... I don't think we can go back up after this point. We might be able to, I'm not sure. And there's no enemies around here, so we can just full throttle sprint our way through here. Surprisingly, there's like nothing in this room right here, which is really disappointing, because you'd think there'd be at least something to loot in this room, but nope, there's nothing. There's generally not really much anything on this entire floor. Kind of boring. Ow, son of a...
Well, looky here. We got us a Boy Scout.
He must be the one who mucked up my operation at the morgue.
Get rid of him, Barrett.
Oh, that's gonna be a pleasure.
Oh, I don't think so. I think the pleasure's gonna be all mine. I've been waiting 6 months for this. Alright, it's time for a boss battle against Lawrence Barrett. So, we have a guy with a robotic Gatling gun on his arm. His name is Barrett. Never seen that before. Again, tell me this is not Square Enix's influence. Anyway, if you don't have any grenades on you, like I didn't the first time I played through this game, this can be the hardest part in the game, by far. But I have a very specific strategy for how I want to take this guy on. Now, many people have complained that the bosses in this game are very poorly designed, and therefore either ridiculously hard your first time through the game or ridiculously easy every time thereafter. And I do have to agree with that, but the recommended strategies for doing damage to him are frag grenades and the Typhoon. And definitely the rocket launcher if you decide to pick that up, although he only really has enough health when you're playing this on hard to justify carrying, or on Give Me Deus Ex to justify carrying around the rocket launcher. So that's what I did. And he'll survive all 3 rockets too before you can actually kill him. But what I want to do is toss out all my frags there like I did at the beginning. This is going really fast, so I'm not really even able to keep up with it. But you definitely do not want to stand in front of him for very long at all. And his most dangerous attack there is when he tosses out all those frags at you. But if you were unlucky enough to not have any frags or the Typhoon or the rocket launcher, then there is a very specific strategy for beating him that I was forced to use my first time through the game, which made this boss fight miserable my first time through. But since we regenerate so slowly as well, you'll have to wait for your health. You'll have to use the healing items to restore your health, otherwise he'll just gun you down way too fast before you can even regenerate. But basically, the very specific strategy that I'm using here is tossing these exploding crates at him, or exploding barrels rather, not crates, and then while he's stunned, hitting him with the magnum. Now, if you run out of exploding barrels, like if you don't have any frags, you can hit him with the fire extinguishers, and those will also stun him for a limited amount of time, and you can unload on him with the magnum, or getting headshots with the pistol also helps. But if you're doing the pacifist run, I also recommend picking up the magnum and having that as your one lethal weapon, and then using that to deal damage to him. Because if you're doing the pacifist run, you still need a lethal weapon to be able to take out the bosses. But I still don't think that the pacifist run requires you to carry around frags, because it's just not worth the risk of accidentally tossing one out and killing someone. So I still think that strategy works for the pacifist run, because you're not going to have anything else lethal on you aside from what you can find in your environment and, of course, the magnum. So, and don't worry, the magnum will become much better at dealing damage to these bosses later in the game, and they won't really get much harder than him. So sorry if I'm talking over this cutscene, but I really wanted to explain this in as much detail as possible, because like I said, if you're underprepared, this can be the hardest part in the game. But I just made it look way too easy. Oh, crap.
Tell him Barrett sent you straight to hell!
Fucker. There we go. Rather realistic fire effect there. Alright, so we defeated Lawrence Barrett with much ease. Now, the other bosses in the game will not have nearly as much health as he is, so we don't have to really worry about that. He's basically your basic tank boss. But the others will be interestingly challenging in their own ways, but more about that when they're actually relevant. And it'll be a little while for the next boss, so you guys can take it easy for a little while.